And as we get closer, I mean, another thing that's recently opened is fall camp. Jaden, what are some of the early takeaways and things you're looking at from fall
Well,
camp so far?
the first thing obviously you got to look at is Carson Beck. And one of the concerns that a lot of people had entering fall camp was how's his health? How's the show? How's the elbow doing towards UCL last December? Is that healthy enough? Is he ready enough for week 1 against Notre Dame? And from all the clips that I've seen, there's not a whole lot. Obviously, fall camp, take it with a grain of salt, please. Do not, it's not the end all be all. It will never be the end all be all. But from what you're just seeing, you're looking at a guy like Carson Beck and you're seeing a healthy arm. You're seeing him make some good throws. Nice zip to the ball. He had a baseball injury throw, and seeing him kind of look almost the same as he did in Georgia, that's a good sign. That's a positive sign. Making some throws to CJ Daniels. I saw Joshua Moore, Josiah Trader, guys like that were getting some reps, and that's all you want to see. You want to see some chemistry and some communication built between these guys. The other thing I saw the most, Miami loves their running back group. They see some juice in those guys. We talked about it earlier, how awesome Fletch is and how awesome, like the way that the team is built. But they're in love with Chamar Brown. They think that he could be probably the best RB3 in the nation. So one thing you're probably going to be expecting this season, so much RBBC. Who's going to be playing, what snaps, what downs. You're going to be seeing a healthy mix of Fletch, of Lyle, and of Chamar Brown. I think it's going to be one of Miami's biggest strengths all season long, and it will help Carson Beck significantly through the course of the season. And then I would say maybe among the younger guys, the one guy that stood out the most is Joshua Moore, the receiver. That true freshman, he's a dog. 6'4", great frame. He's shining, absolutely shining. He was shining during spring practices, during the spring game, and he's doing the same thing in the fall. And this is a guy that's fighting for a spot to get some legitimate reps this season. I can see it. Absolutely can see him being one of those wide receiver 4, wide receiver 5s, and he just builds his way up into maybe end of season wide receiver 3. If that happens, that's a legitimate player right there. That's a great build for Miami.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, a lot of interesting things that you just brought up there. I mean, we talked about when we looked at the running back group, we think it's really deep, and you think ideally you have a constantly churning through those guys throughout a game. And, early on, you're very excited if that's the case, that what Miami's going to go through between, we already mentioned Fletch and Lyle, but also if Charmar Brown is a factor that we think he's going to be making that step up from the FCS level to the, to the Power 5 level, all those different moving parts there. And then especially if you're looking at this receiver group, seeing the competition early on, seeing guys fighting for spots, you're going to see with, the three main freshman receivers between Dalen Upshaw, Malachi Tony, and, as you just mentioned, Joshua Moore, guys who are going to fight for some reps here, make it competitive, especially on, maybe maybe not taking over the game necessarily in terms of reps, but, guys who can definitely work a role in, especially later in the season. If you see a lot of improvement from them, it'll be very interesting to see. Yeah, I mean, it's you can't, like we said, you can't take too much away from fall camp. It's early on. It's guys, you're not seeing too much 11 on 11, guys getting really physical, trench work, but you'll like what you see when you see it. I mean, it was just a quick thing, but Hayden Lowe, 5-star guy who I saw competing really early on. Apparently he looks the part as a 5-star guy. Miami flipped, looks the part, could definitely play another guy who could play a big role for Miami if they throughout the season rotate him in. Another key strength that we talked about is this D line and the depth there, along with throughout everything. So it'll be very interesting to see as fall camp moves on, as Miami gets closer to the season. We are 27 days away from Notre Dame, and it'll be interesting to see how these young guys get involved, how Beck continues to look. I mean, right now we think the arm looks lively, looks healthy. Give it a few more weeks. How much more can that progress? A lot of things to be excited about just coming off of this first week of fall camp.
Yeah, Muhammad Torrey was another guy I saw, the linebacker, the transfer from Rutgers. Obviously, again, fall camp, you're not is what kind of how they're moving, how they're playing. And one thing I did see was that Muhammad Torrey, coming off another torn ACL, his second in a span of 4 years, is he was moving the part, he was moving the way that he needs to. This is a guy that was in the Corey Heatherman system at Rutgers for a year, and that was his best season over there. So you're hoping that he can do some of the same thing. That's a guy that could be a key piece to that rotation. Again, another group that had some trouble last season, the linebacker group. If Muhammad Torrey can be a legitimate star on your team, I mean, this defense, as we keep talking about, this defense could be easily one of the better ones in the country, significantly better than they were last season, and it could start with Mohamed Torre.